I did not enjoy the way people who are not MMA experts were talking about the conclusion of that fight. And they were saying that Conor is old, Conor's done, he doesn't have the anger anymore or the drive to become a champion anymore. Horse shit. You people don't know anything about MMA. Let me tell you what happened. You got a guy who went out there, guns blazing, to give it his all with a pre-existing injury, and he got beat by a better man. He got beat by a guy who might have beat him anyway, but took him down, has a superior ground game. Dustin beat him up. And here's the thing that I was saying going into that fight, historically, and this is never an indication of like what can happen in the future because people can improve, they get better. But historically, Conor's really dangerous in the beginning of a fight. And he's not as dangerous as the fight goes on. Dustin Poirier is dangerous for all 5 rounds. And that's a big factor. He relishes these combat, trench warfare type fights where like you're 5 rounds in with Dan Hooker and he'll win it in the 5th round. Like that's who Dustin Poirier is. And he's had these 5-round wars with like Max Holloway and Justin Gaethje. Like he's had savage fights and gone into the trenches. So he's like real confident he can get through those trenches and be victorious. So the problem with the fight is not just that Conor broke his leg. The problem was that Dustin dominated the 1st round. When Dustin, and he,
that was,
if he dominates the 1st round, he's likely the favorite to win the 2nd round. And then he's even more of a favorite to win the 3rd round. And this is just based on historical moments in fights. That's what you have to realize. That's what kind of a savage Conor McGregor is. He was kicking him with a broken leg because he's a left-hander, right? So his left side is the power side. So his left kick's his big kick. And that was the kick that he was throwing, even though he had a broken shin. Pretty wild.
It's truly insane.
He's wild.
But that video we were watching of him driving around in a scooter, dude, he's so funny.
Respect. Nothing but respect for that guy.
So now I've got a titanium rod going down the knee, from the knee to my ankle. And the doctor said it's unbreakable. I was talking to my physical therapist, Heather, who was with Arnold Schwarzenegger, his other half. And I was saying, I'm like Arnie in Terminator 2. You know what I mean? So I'm cruising around the Cali streets. Getting a bit of fresh air. And just keeping the head sharp.
And I watched that guy fight. I'm so happy that I'm there. I'm so happy that I get to call those fights. I'm happy I get to be there when all this is going down, because I really feel like he is a huge part of combat sports history. And I think that when all is said and done, when we look back on this 20, 30 years from now, the Conor McGregor era will be something truly special, truly unique.
It was almost bizarre. It's almost bizarre how good Conor is.
Right?
Almost bizarre. The way he picked apart Eddie Alvarez. Almost bizarre. And like magical. That's almost the word I want to use.
Correct.
Like he touches motherfuckers with that left hand.
Have you ever seen Eddie Alvarez just get, like, they didn't even look like they were in the same planet. Like one guy like looked like he was from Mars. The other guy looked like he was just a normal dude trying to figure it out.
Well, it looked like Eddie, the moment he got hit, was like, what the f?
You could see on his face, he was like, holy Jesus, what am I doing here? And then he goes, well, all right, he's not very good at wrestling. Let me try this wrestling. And Conor's like, that was your shot? Oh, bro, you're in for a long night. And I think Eddie realized, like, holy f.
Well, he's already touched up a little bit when he finally went in for the shot, you know, and I just think Conor knew then also that he had him.
And how calm was he?
Ridiculous.
Just calm, upright, and just waiting. And then the accuracy of that combo that finally finished Eddie, that's what I think makes Conor so special, is his accuracy when he throws punches. Eddie's moving as he's landing this stuff. I've never seen anything like you said, it was straight up magical. I'm like, all right, well, we've never seen a guy like this. We just haven't. I don't know if we ever will either.
It's really interesting too when I was interviewing him. He's like, you gotta have some attributes if you want to beat me. You gotta be tall, you gotta be big. Give me these guys my size.
They're not on my level. You gotta have size, reach, length. You've gotta have some attributes. If you come in any way equal to me, I'm going to rip your whole head off, and that's it. I tell her every time. Eddie's a solid competitor. Eddie's a warrior. But he shouldn't have been in here with me, and that's just
what he's doing, though, it's so... He's a once-in-a-lifetime guy, because he's setting the ceiling. Like, there's no boundaries for him. Like, he's just like, I'll fight Nate at 70. I'll 45, sure, I'll murk Aldo in 13 seconds, and then I'll come to 55. Like, we've never seen this kind of creativity, and we've also never seen the UFC allow someone to do this either.
Yeah, well, he's just such a unique personality. It's undeniable. But also his style. In a lot of ways, he kind of does a lot of like what Wonder Boy does, but with less kicks.
I think Wonder Boy is better at surprising guys with his kicks and his angles, but Conor sets it up and he's landing combos that are all so precise and this power. Like, he's touching dudes and you can see it on their face.
Yeah.
He touched Eddie and Eddie's like, what a
Well, not only that, he's hitting him in a surprise way and he's not telegraphing it at all. Like, his ability to like go from bouncing around to launching that shot is so quick. It's so precise and it's so focused, and there's no fat in his movements. It's just
I think Conor can come back like he was, and perhaps better than he was, but he needed...
You had good advice about that, though.
You need to get out of his comfort zone. He cannot be the boss. Because it's easy when you're wealthy, you're healthy, you're wealthy, you got everything you need in the world, you're not hungry anymore. But you need to be willing to do that. It's a sacrifice that need to be made, especially at the elite level.
I think someone on the outside needs to look at what you're doing. You can't look at it objectively yourself. You need someone analyzing, someone who you implicitly trust.
I agree, because sometimes it's hard to look at ourselves in the mirror and know ourselves.
Yeah,
we need
especially when you have a big ego like Conor.
Yes.
He's so, for good reasons. I mean, he's very confident, but it's because of his success and because of his ability. He understands what he's capable of, but I don't think that's enough.
We say sometimes that you don't want to fix something that is not broken, but I think it's wrong. I think you when you're on top, you need to fix something that is not broken, because otherwise the sport will catch up to you.
Yes.
You need to innovate. And if you stay there, the sport will catch up to you. You know what I mean? Of course, Conor, he's not champion and he had a few losses, but you need to have a reality check if you want to stay there and be successful, I believe,
And it's broken. It's broken. Like,
yes.
if it's not broken, don't fix it. Well, it's broken.
It is.
So you have to fix it. I mean, Dustin clearly broke it. And the low calf kick was never a weapon that was very popular when you were champion.
Yeah.
Is that fascinating to you, that this one thing has emerged that's been one of the most important weapons to learn how to avoid and block and implement?
Yeah, it's because a lot of guys, their striking background come from Muay Thai. And in Muay Thai, it's not really used because the stance is more narrow. So if the stance are more narrow, you can lift and shield it easier. However, in MMA, the octagon is much bigger. The surface which you fight on is bigger. So in order to have a better mobility, most fighters, they adopt a wider stance, which increase your mobility. However, it has a profound effect on how you can shield the kick. I believe the best way to deal with that kick is either get out or either step blitzing with a counter, or I develop one that you go with you lift your heel. Yeah, and it works. I've done it, it works.
Interesting.
Yes.
So if you are fighting someone who's standing orthodox and you're standing orthodox, your left leg would be in front and you would just pick it up and they would kick your heel instead of kicking your calf.
Yes, and it's a fast move. Instead of because if you try to shield it, you don't have enough time.